Hey guys, I'm Ryan here with the first of the 3 discontinued projects that I'm going to be showing you. I've followed through on the promise, and I'm going to be just touring you guys around this world and everything that's in it so far, and maybe stating the plans for the future, perhaps, and how much work I've put into it. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, to begin, this was the start to my map. This was the map that I posted on a while back, I think last year in December, or way before December actually, that I needed help with building. Uh, got the help, but the nail in the coffin was that I didn't get enough help. I got tons of people, just none of them ever showed up, and the ones that did, um, just ran out of drive because no one else showed up. So, as many of you know, or will soon know, I'm a horrible builder. Absolutely horrible. That's the best I can do, that tower right there. Although, I'm learning to improve on that now. This is kind of 6 months old, this project, but, this tower was, like, the pinnacle. It's horrible. Like, look at it. Oh my god. But I have to bring in help. I can't build a map myself. The plan for this map was to be extremely story driven, not so much combat driven. And I had a script all written out. I had all that stuff. And I'd still have to build a giant city with a giant garden with a giant castle. And that'd be a pain in the ass. This is just the first section out of, I believe, 4 or 5 that I had planned. This, including that, is the first section. We'll go down there in a minute. But the person that built this town and quite a bit of the mine was Octorox. I'd like to thank him a ton. He's not exactly available nowadays, which is why I can't really finish this, but he is a far better builder than I am. And by the way, if you're wondering, this nether brick used to be the smooth stone slabs, but when they added nether brick slabs, that changed. So I'll maybe fix that at a later date if I want to continue this. Anyways, this is a pit that we were supposed to put a town hall or something in, but yeah. The story behind this map, I don't really want to spoil it, although it's so good. Like, I scripted the entire thing, but darn, whatever. If I do finish this at some point, or decide not to completely, I'll give you guys the script if you want it, but we'll see about that. Now, the majority of the work that went into this was balancing, and that is hard. That is a ton of work. To balance a map was probably 50 plus hours that went into this. What I ended up having to do is make a linear line of the areas and figure out what mobs with what gear would go in them and what stats those mobs would have. And I did it all. I even have the bosses done already. Like, I have all the items and the gear the bosses have, what they drop, how to fight them. I have the arenas for 2 of them and how those work. I have, in fact, I'll show you in a second what I have with the teleports, but I have all that. Like, with the gear the bosses drop, it's slightly better than the gear that or it has the chance to be better, but it's still slightly better base than the best gear you can get in the area. And all the stuff is balanced. I have a notepad that's, well, a Word document that's, I think, 15 pages long with all the gear, all the armor, all that stuff, all the stats on it. I have a world with, I think, 50 sets of double chests with just mob gear in it and all that crap. And that's definitely the hard part. It was a lot of work behind the scenes. People don't realize that with Hypixels maps and stuff. The majority of the work, once the building's done, which is probably a quarter of the time it takes to make the physical map itself, then comes the fun stuff. The boss fights, those are really hard to do, depending on how difficult you want to make them. Yeah. Now I'm gonna show you guys the mine. We'll go down there. This I had all the mobs laid out, actually. I just hadn't put them into spawners yet. I had all the chests. I took some tips from Hypixel. I watched him live streaming one night. I didn't even know he live streamed, but I found him one night. So, with this map, I'd spoil the basic story if I said this, so I'm gonna skip that. But since I'm showing you the area, I don't know. But here's a little teaser if for those that really care. This would be where they get your starting gear. Oops. And there'd be wooden, so yeah. So that's the starting gear, and this was a very nice entrance that Dr. Rocks made. I liked it. Going down, you'd run into some unarmed zombies. And continuing down, the atmosphere on this place is awesome. By the way, like he did a great job on the atmosphere of this place. I did a lot of changes to it, but he laid it out pretty damn well. Skeletons, yeah. This little stupid flip the track thing, just for the sake of having it. And you come out in this big room. This room was meant to be a central hub for the first combat area. Mobs everywhere. I'm not going to show you what these are. But down here, there's two different shafts, and each one has a lever that unlocks the boss room. But you have to fight your way through both of them, obviously. And then there's a little Easter egg over here. But to get into here, but yeah. This would be a tier 2 axe, yeah. So I'd have to replace that at some point. I gave all the stuff names too. That was a fun job. But yeah. So once you cleared the two areas, you'd be able to go into here, which is trapped, but that has the boss teleport system in there, which is retardedly complicated. I shouldn't say that. Ridiculously complicated. I apologize. I had to make it so that you could abandon it at any moment in time. I had to make it so it was, if you had more than one person, it'd detect that, and it would judge if you needed to flip both levers or not, stuff like that. And this map was initially made for 1 to 4 people, I believe, or 1 to 3, I think. I have it written down somewhere. But this is basically all it got built. And this was probably 25 hours. And you get the gate key from the boss. Yeah. There's a side note. That's temporary, obviously. Oops. Sorry about that. So that's about it for this map. I'd show you all the items and stuff, but that's just another sidetrack. I'm sure you get the idea of how much work I put into this. But in closing, I feel like this accurately sums up this project. And what went into it. Going forward, I'm not sure if I want to continue this. This one was a lot more work, and it's far less rewarding than the other two projects that you guys will see next. So that's kind of why I don't want to finish this, because it's not going to get noticed, is what I'm worried about. The other two definitely will, because they're unique in their combat minigames comparison to an adventure map that's over 6 months outdated. So, I'd have to remake all the boss fights. That's gonna suck. Anyways, but yeah, that's it for this. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Part 2 of this so-called series will be as soon as I can get it out. And part 3 will follow shortly after. But that's it. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.